So, Brick.
Yes.
Girl.
Yes.
You had a full-on, legitimate paranormal experience in your house this week.
I absolutely
and
did.
We need to hear about it.
I totally blame you. I blame you for my experience.
Sorry. I told you these things follow me.
You're bringing out all the ghosts and goblins, and now they're coming after me because I know you.
Yeah. So give us the deets, girl. What happened? Tell us all the gory details. Don't leave anything out.
Okay, so I have 2 sons, and my youngest one is actually going to be 2 next month. And it was the morning time, and I'm a mom, so I always get up before my children because that's when we have our peace and quiet. And I heard him making noises in his room, so I go upstairs and I just peek in because I heard him talking. But of course it's just baby gibberish mostly because he is only almost 2. So I crack the door open and I'm looking at him, and he doesn't see me for 2 minutes. And he's just sitting in his crib, facing one corner, and he's just talking and talking, just blah, 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 blah. All this talk just going on and on. So I didn't really think too much of it, and then he saw me, and I walked in, and I'm very OCD about my house. My house is never in disarray. All the doors are closed. All the cabinets, the bathroom door, pantry, bedroom doors, everything stays closed, and everything has its own place. So I walk in his room, and also, mind you, I'm the one who puts him to bed at night, and once I put him to bed, no one else goes in his room. So I walk in his room, and the first thing I notice is his closet door is wide open. And so I was like, well, that's weird. So I go over to it, and his diapers, I keep his diapers way up on the top shelf where only an adult can get to them, And they're just all over the place, just thrown all over the shelf. And he sleeps in a crib and he can't get out of it. So I know, and there's nothing for him to climb up onto to get to it and do that. So I know it wasn't him, and I know no one else has been in his room since I put him to bed the night before. So I was like, well, that's weird. So anyways, I go and I get a diaper and I turn to him, and he's just pointing to this corner, and he's just saying, man, M-A-N, man, and he's just going, man. Mm-hmm. He's just saying it over and over again, man, 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 mommy, man, mommy, man. So then I take him out the crib, and I put him on the floor, and he is obsessed with Mickey Mouse. His whole room is Mickey Mouse. He has a bunch of different Mickey Mouse dolls and everything. And he walks over to the same spot where he was pointing to and saying, man, and he had one of his Mickey Mouse dolls, and he takes it, and he tried to hand it to someone, and he said, here you go. And it fell to the floor.
Oh, snap.
I know. And then he just looked at me all confused, so I don't know, man. That really spooked me.
That is a bona fide experience. That is for reals.
And this is all at 6:30 in the morning too, so this was a great way to start my day. But it's just the fact that he was saying man, 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 and then he went to hand his doll to someone and said, here you go, golly.
And then I love that he looked surprised when nobody took the doll,
I know. When the doll fell, he just turned and looked at me all in shock that whatever was there that he saw didn't take his doll.
So what did you do at that point?
I grabbed him and we went downstairs. We gotta get out of this room.
That's creepy. Man, you know what you should do? You should get your phone to have one of those recording apps on it, just any random audio recording app. You can get them for free even. or just pay $1 or $2. You should get one of those on your phone and hit record and put it in his room overnight and see if you catch anything. Or do you want to? Do you want to know? Because
I mean, I'm pretty curious.
Because I wonder if that happens to him during the night. I wonder if something like wakes him up or anything. Like, do you guys have a monitor in there?
No, we don't. But I mean, he seemed very comfortable with whatever it was. Because, you know, when I peeked my head in and I was watching him, he was just sitting there, just talking away.
Wow.
You know, just sitting there crisscross applesauce, looking in the corner, just talking. You know, and obviously he was comfortable if he wanted to give his toy to this thing.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that kind of implies that he's used to it. Like that he's familiar with it, you know what I mean? So I wonder if maybe this is not the first time.
I don't know.
Questions.
It is questions.
So many questions. Well, I mean, so long as it doesn't seem aggressive or angry or anything like that.
No.
I don't know. If it were me, I'd embrace it. But I feel like you already know that.
I mean, what can I do besides just sit around and wait for something else to happen, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, because that was the second experience we had in this house. And the first one was a little child. I heard a little child. So I'd always called that one my little ghost child. But I only heard that voice one time. But then when I was talking to you, you said that they can take on many different forms to try to get your attention or whatever. So maybe it is the same one. I don't know.
Yeah, I have totally read that. And the fact that you're a mother, the energy could have made itself sound like a child in order to get your attention because it knew that you're a mother and, you know, logically thought that would work. So, and then maybe when it's trying to talk to your youngest son, maybe then it takes the form of an adult, you know, to talk to the child. I don't know. Very interesting.
It is. But I mean, I've always kind of felt something in this house anyway, ever since we got here. But I mean, those are our two. Well, I say our two, but I'm the only one who experienced it. And now my child has two. But it sucks though, because he's so young. I can't be like, hey, who are you talking to? What did you see? They didn't pick up your toys, you know? Because, like I said, he'll be 2 next month, so he can't do that with me yet. So it's just like, oh, damn.
And I guess your older son hasn't had anything happen to him.
No, not at all.
Yeah. And I definitely wouldn't, like, ask him because you don't want to freak him out.
And neither has my husband. Like, I told him about both experiences I had, and he's just like, you're crazy. You're imagining things. You need to get out more.
I bet he blamed it on me.
Yes. Like, when you found those 2 EVPs from last time we were recording, I actually forwarded them to him, and I was like, look what Cindy caught in our house. And he's like, boy, the 2 of you just don't quit, do you?
Oh my gosh. Awesome. Yes. Sounds exactly like my husband.
Yeah, exactly. Golly.
His whole thing is, why is it always got to be paranormal, Cindy? Every time you can't explain something, he's like, oh, it's a ghost. I'm like, come on. I'm like, come on. This is like a full-blown whisper on my phone, asking questions and saying my name. How can you be like, oh, you know, what? I don't know.
Or like, you know, I'm very clean, you know, like you wouldn't even guess I had children unless you went into their rooms or their playroom. Like, oh, there's actually children things here, you know, so because nothing's ever just thrown about. And then every night before bedtime, I have my oldest one go around and pick up all the toys and put them back in the playroom and tidy up the playroom. And there's been multiple times where we've done that and we wake up the next day and there's just toys randomly throughout the house, you know?
Wow, you didn't tell me that. Girl, your house is haunted.
Oh, thanks.
I love it.